Android. It's our final session of Android for the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament. Before we go up and play, I wanted to say that I had my to-do list plot. I'm just going to go ahead and resolve that now. I know it's supposed to technically be done at the end of the game, but I kind of want to just focus on the players during the end of the game. So I'll tell you, I succeeded. I'm not sure how many points I get. I'll have to look at some cards for that. It's probably like 1 or 4, maybe. Probably 1. Interesting thing though, and I want to bring this up because it's so the notebook that I had my to-do list on, I got everything. I got enough done so that I had done half, except for 1. I think I had 1 more to do, and I've since done 2 more, so I've got it covered. I know that, but the notebook I had it all written on. I went to a murder mystery dinner last Saturday. First time I've ever done one of those. Brought the notebook in order to write the directions to the guy's house. And I brought it inside thinking, I might need to write down clues or something like that. It turned out you don't really need to do that. I don't know. The murder mystery dinner I did seemed more about just the characters interacting and actually solving the murder, because it turned out everyone pretty much tried to commit murder. So it was, I don't know. It was a lot of fun though. Just the mystery part wasn't so much in there, but all the interaction was good. So it kind of mirrored Android in a way, except Android has more of a mystery. That's a little more solid in Android than I think was in this murder mystery dinner. Anyway, so what was my point? Oh, my point was I left it there. And yesterday, I asked the guy if he had my notebook, and he said, no, someone else took it. So even as this one mystery today with Android, who massacred those people in Mons Wolf Observatory, wraps up, another mystery unfolds. Which one of the people at the murder mystery dinner, which I attended, and I was the only innocent character, by the way, I was the only one who didn't try to murder, was the one who took my notebook. That won't be resolved in this video, and it probably won't be resolved in a future video, but it's still interesting. Time to go up and resolve. I just want to say a few thoughts before I go up and play some more the final game. I think maybe I'm stalling because I've been playing this Android game for a while now, and I feel like it's time for it to be done. But I've really enjoyed it. It's been some of the multi-game solitaire mega tournament games have not been as much fun, and some of them have been a lot of fun. Some of them have not had as much. I don't know. This has been, I would put it in the fun camp. I'll definitely do Android again and get the rules right, I hope. But yeah, and I just wanted to say, whoever wins, I'm pretty happy with all the characters here. So I think I'll be glad no matter who wins, because they all seem like characters that I would want to play with again, unlike some of the other games, if you know what I mean. Okay, before I start Dick's turn, his final turn of this game of Android, who knows, he may get to play again someday. I just wanted to let everyone see the board state. Drink it all in, savor these last moments before what is unrevealed is revealed, and we lose ourselves to certainty. And Dick got into a fight. Let me tag along this time. She looked down at him. Oliver's eyes were surprisingly blue. Please? All right. Really? Sure. He'll probably need to buy us off. Not exactly a hard case. So she had the choice of either being bought off, or he had the choice of Rachel either being bought off or getting the bounty for 2,000. He went with getting bought off, which brought him up to 4 victory points. This is especially important now because we're at the end of the game. So unless someone else is able to play a dark card at some point, well, I guess not, because her turn's over, to lower her money. This is how her money stands. 9,000, not bad. She would have liked the 10,000, but was not able to do that. All right, so Other than that, the main notable thing that Dick did on his turn was he put a hit on Vinny the Strangler, and Vinny the Strangler is dead. So whoever had... We're just going to wipe it all off. We're not even going to look at it. We're not even going to look at what evidence was there. Vinny the Strangler is out of the game. Dick took him out. On his turn, Dick took a Sparky dark card. Twigmar just completed his turn, and he had two interesting choices to make, basically. He could either try to score by taking 2 Jinteki tokens, or he could get a Jinteki token and try to raise his Caprice's sanity up one more space from 6 to 7. He ended up going with the Jinteki tokens. He took, those each gave him 5 points. He figured going up 1 would be 4 points, so not a huge difference, but he was sitting here and he has this broken rule where you can use a major location multiple times. So he got the Jinteki tokens. His other major choice to make was who he would draw a dark card from, because he had 1 extra time left. So would he choose kind of the two choices he had were Sparky and Coonies. He would have liked to take one for Dick, but Dick doesn't have any more turns left in the game, so there's no reason to do that. And Banana just seems like she has no chance of winning, but who can say? He is pretty sure, however, that... let's see, where's Banana? Oh no, we need to find Twigmar. He's pretty positive that Banana's guilty hunch was Vinny the Strangler, who's now dead. So yeah, so he had to choose between Sparky and Coonies. Dick chose Sparky. I think that helped him make up his mind to go with Coonies. Both of them seem kind of similar. They have the 3 chips. Neither of them have played a lot of evidence. So he went with Coonies. So having all but sealed up Floyd's marriage, Banana spent the rest of her turn doing other things. Nothing really of too much consequence. She got some favor, which is useful for scoring at the end of the game. One thing she did in order to get the favor, actually, it was kind of a long, drawn-out process to get the favor, so I might as well talk to you about it since it's Banana's last turn. I think I'm on to something. Lewis, what are we doing here? We're going to get in trouble again. You worry too much, kid. You keep going on like this, you're going to have a heart attack. Besides, I've got a good feeling about this lead. That's what you said last time, and look what happened then. Hey, that building was due to be demolished anyway, so basically got to pick up 5 light cards and choose one. The one she chose was, "This won't be cheap, Mr. Blaine." Lee raised an eyebrow. "Another favor so soon, Mr. Blaine?" "Unfortunately, yes. Can you do it?" Mr. Lee thought for a moment. "Certainly. It won't be cheap, Mr. Blaine." Lewis shrugged. "Nothing is." So got some favor. The favor is going to be worth a couple victory points at the end of the game. Not bad. Other thing she did, spent the rest of her time, she could have... I don't know what else she could have done, but she just drew some dark cards. First she drew a Raymond dark card, and then one at a time, she drew 3 Coonies dark cards. And Coonies balanced out. Despite all the dark cards Banana drew for him, she was either unable to or chose not to play either of them, or any of them. Neither did Twigmar, for that matter. So Coonies followed up on some leads, placed some evidence down on Thomas Haas, and then, and in the middle of that, got some corporation favor at Melange Mining, which is worth a couple victory points at the end of the game. Kind of a fun little turn, not really anything dramatic or anything like that, just did what he was doing. And not surprisingly, there was a lot of card play on Raymond's last turn. Raymond's main goal, if you recall from last time, was to get a little bit of good baggage before the game ends so that he can get a bit better of an ending. So, what he did... Oh, first thing I forgot about this. I couldn't sleep again, and I can feel him here. I have a hard time sleeping sometimes too. Here, for him, though, it's 2 in the morning, and it found him wandering idly through his darkened apartment, mind racing as he tried yet again to solve the mystery of what had happened to Parsons. He lost 3 times to start the turn, so that's like a little less than half of his very last turn was taken from him by Banana. Dun dun dun. Then he tried to follow up a lead. Dick took the evidence that he placed, looked at it, and then tossed it. Dun dun dun. But he was able to get some favor off of an old buddy named Phillips, and that was all he needed to get the good baggage. So just barely scraped by, but he got the good baggage on his plot. So I'm going to spend some time scoring, and I'm going to erase all of this and put the score up there. So take a last look. This is all going away. And we'll have the plots resolved, and we'll have a winner when we come back. Dick has resolved his issues with his father. Raymond has finally gotten rid of that girl who's just not good for him. Coonies has realized that as long as people need him, he doesn't need his own individuality. He can be needed, and that's enough to be happy. Banana's having a baby, or rather her wife is, and Twigmar is going to continue therapy, but otherwise is relatively stable. The points are on the board, and the murder plot is really what turned the tide of the game, though I think Sparky, anyone just glancing at this could see, has a pretty commanding lead. Not only did his guilty hunch and his innocent hunch pay off right here, his plot turned out great, and he got a hefty chunk of points otherwise. Twigmar had the most extra points from those Jinteki favors. Plot-wise, I mean, Sparky got the most plot points and the most murder points. That offing of Vinny the Strangler, when Dick killed that put both Banana and Twigmar out of the running, because they had opposite innocent and guilty hunches, as it turned out. And you can see who everyone thought was what. Oh, I guess they didn't have opposite, but Banana thought that Deja Thoris was innocent, and Deja Thoris ended up being guilty. The move to put that innocent token on her didn't pay off, especially so early in the game. A lot of these perjury tokens came down, and those turned these -5s into +5s. Yeah, no one was even close to the number of points that Sergeant Deja Thoris had on her. Actually, Vinny the Strangler might have been, but we won't know that because the points are all gone. It's such that even if you're playing evidence on someone, you're not really sure how they're doing, because the lowest number in the strong files taken out, the highest number in the weak files taken out. So it's hard to get a picture of what's going on. I can't remember which one of these two was the next highest up. I think I stopped counting because it was just so close. Yeah, the rule change definitely affected things, but from the looks of it, Sparky would have maybe won anyway, because it was really the murder plot that got him the points he needed, not so much the other column. Because if the rule was different, and the rule I'm talking about is using the major space multiple times. If the rule was different, that would have brought down all of these 3 points. These 3 points are all representing the corporation tokens, the Jinteki and the Hospiroid tokens. That's the big chunk of points that they got. And so my cat's talking to me. So yes, despite all the irregularities, I'm happy with how the game turned out. I think Sparky, I think this is one of a game where it wasn't necessarily the best player that won, but I don't know who would have been the best player. I mean, different players seem shrewd, had their moments of shrewdness and kind of acute sight, but they all made mistakes. Sparky did play well, though. I think he was a fairly headstrong player. Kind of just moved around. His ability to move, Raymond's ability to move, really helped him, and I think the memory cards didn't inhibit him as much as they possibly could have. But what I was trying to get to is I think the winning and losing had more to do with the player dynamics and kind of the choices other people made as much as Sparky made, which I think is probably true in most multiplayer games. But the killing of Vinny the Strangler, that affected things quite a bit. I mean, if Vinny had ended up being guilty, say, Banana, I guess, would have been the one who had the hunch, and that she was not in the running. But that possibly could have made it so I think Twigmar was the next. Twigmar could have possibly won if that hadn't happened. And just the dark cards people drew in that last turn. A lot of people were drawing Sparky's dark cards, but they couldn't get the card that would stop him from getting his plot finished. If his plot hadn't been finished in the best possible way, that could have changed things quite a bit. Though really he had a pretty commanding lead with the murder plot. I mean, that having both his guilty and innocent hunches vindicated, that was a total of 28 points. If I did the math right, let's see, it would have been 15 plus... Wait, did I do that wrong? No, I did it right. Yeah. That's a lot of points. And I guess we'll never know since I took the evidence off of Vinny the Strangler, but even if that murder or the hit on Vinny hadn't happened, it was Banana's choice to put the innocent token down on Sergeant Deja Thoris, which totally killed, totally helped her to become guilty, because once that innocent token was down, that little halo, she became a target for all the perjury tokens people wanted to play, and so that helped Sparky out a lot too. So I'm not trying to undercut his abilities as a player. I think he played the game fine, but I think in a game like this, no matter how good a player you are, you have to, or at least in the way this game played out, you have to accept that the result wasn't in your control entirely. You had an input, but it wasn't entirely in your control. But I'm like I said, I'm happy with the results. I'm excited to see how Sparky, the great adventurer, goes on in Time Agent. He and Roadrunner will make an interesting pair. So I'm going to be taking a little break from the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament, not because I need it, but because, need it psychologically. I really enjoy playing it, but because there's a lot of other things I need to get done, and generally if I have a choice between something else and the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament, I'll pick this. So I'm going to try and get a chunk of reviews done so I can kind of get a jump on things for later, and then come back with the alpha bracket. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't be too sad about the characters who did not win. They will be coming back in Outdoor Survival, and if they can make it through the wilderness, they still have a chance to come back and advance in the tournament. And who knows, one of the players we saw here today, lose here today. I know Dick was a clear fan favorite on the opinion poll. Might come back and win the whole shebang in the end. It's possible. Though if they die in the woods, they're out. There's no way they're coming back. But thanks for.